All right, so these are the nations with the highest and lowest marginal income tax rates. Is tax filing for quite a few countries as their financial year comes to an end. How differently do the countries tax their citizens? Visual capitalists. So we can look at the top marginal. Western European countries have higher rates to support extensive social security measures. Wow, this is ridiculous. Almost 50% or more is almost 40%. Canada's but Brazil is pretty close to them boys, 20%. Wow, look at it, 0%. In the Middle East, oil sales fund government spending. Interesting. Oil sales fund government spending, eliminating income tax requirements. Interesting. In the Middle East, oil sales fund government. I didn't know that. So look at how it is over here, and even in China. Wow. Even over here, 39%. But wow, this Africa SAU. Interesting. See what else they're saying. Of course, there are limitations to the data. Only the highest portion of an individual's income is taxed at this rate. And brackets vary significantly on how much money falls into that pool. Furthermore, property sales or other indirect taxes are not included. It also omits state and provincial and municipal taxes. This is just my income tax. Countries, so they tax you on the income you make. Yeah, that's interesting. Western European countries on average have the highest headline income tax rates in the world. Per the source, 7 countries have a 50% plus top rate, and 6 of those are in Europe, led by Denmark. Yeah, look how much they taxing. Ridiculous. Wow. US is 43rd? Wow. Colombia is even more. Wow, Mexico. I said if US is 43rd, we're at Mexico right behind them. And Thailand and Philippines, right? Philippines, Thailand right next to each other, 35. Number interesting. So who's really low? Qatar is 0. Interesting. UAE 0 taxes. So this was the guy was talking about. They don't tax you for nothing. Look at that, 0 in the Middle East. Interesting. UAE, Saudi, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Interesting. 7%. Which one of these? Paraguay. Interesting. Only 10%. Interesting. Paraguay. Romania 10%. Interesting. Paraguay 10%. I'd be interested in checking out Paraguay. The most interested out of the 10s, I'll be interested in checking out definitely Paraguay. And the 12s, the next list, 12, Montenegro, maybe possibly. Cambodia possibly. Brazil. So let's go back down here. Yeah, I'll definitely check out the UAE and Qatar. Yeah, I'll check those places out. Russia. Finally, in the U.S., the 37% headline rate is on applicable to income above $609,000 for individuals. Of course, U.S. states tax their residents as well. Only applicable to income above $609,000. Wow, that's less than 5% of people. Then, if that's the case, of course, U.S. states tax their residents as well. But yeah, state tax. And finally, several Middle Eastern countries. There's only a few states in the U.S. that you don't get taxed on state taxes. Only like 7, I think. One of the main states is Nevada and Florida. And finally, several Middle Eastern countries also don't charge on income tax. Pros and cons of Western Europe's high tax rates. Individuals' income taxes often make up the largest source of government revenue. Thus, higher taxes help fund extensive public services like healthcare, education, and Social Security. But wow, all those three things they say in the U.S. are not decent, or not even average. They say overall. Let's go back down. Embedded skilled workers work with higher earnings may relocate, leading to brain drain from the region. High earners can avoid taxes by writing their incomes or businesses low tax jurisdictions. So, running through us, top 10 tax havens, 100 some comments for almost 50,000 some views. Let's check it out. 6 minutes in. I see that Greenland has a 10% rate. What about Greenland absorbing the U.S. instead of the other way around? Income tax is a theft of work product, which basically means it is a form of slavery. Gasoline and matches. Can I hit yes or no? I can't. Notice Russia only 50%, but they're even, right? Wow. The reality is governments put every cent they can get their hands on to fund elites, fantasy projects that grow the government bureaucracy while doing nothing for people they couldn't do for themselves. Now the big cities in Canada are overrun with immigrants, housing is unaffordable, driving is expensive, food ain't cheap, Air Canada mostly sucks. Medicare is spotty unless you need something important and fast. And then you must go to USA. And if you are First Nations, for all the lip service, lefty bosses will despise you. The lefty bosses. Twice out of US, that's because the money is worth only half as much. We are overtaxed, our tax money is squandered, we are ruled by leeches, and on top of union taxes, our leaders have borrowed 36 trillion in our name. I wish President Musk every success in what they propose to do. However, if you look at the numbers, isn't it too late to save this sinking ship? Wicked inflation over a 3, take your pick. So let me see what else we got. 9 minutes in. That's about it. This article is deceptive. Russian and U.S. citizens have a lot more taxes to pay in addition to federal taxes. He said the article is deceptive. Excluding local taxes and surcharges, warning is just stupid. To see a real picture, researcher needs to put everything under review. What the point? me see what else they say. This list is a joke. In Canada, once you did professional taxes, you are at 50% income tax rate. You cannot write off interest on a mortgage or just about anything else. Nobody in Canada gets big refund checks like in the US. Wow. And April 1st, if the tax on air goes up and nobody in Canada talks about it because it's already bad. He is to blame for Canada's downfall. You can't make this up. Looting country. Only honest working people are paying for all the services. How many are working under the table or earning illegally? I believe the only fair tax is not the income tax, but a consumption tax. So even the hookers and drug dealers will have to pay a consumption tax. So whatever you consume, they tax you on that. Whatever you buy, I think 20% of all goods and services would suffice. This amount might even cover the property taxes, but if not, maybe 25% would, still cheaper than that present. Interesting. Let's look at the real effects of tax in America. If you count in local tax, property tax, state tax, sales tax, income tax, fees, federal tax, income tax, payroll tax, fees, Americans would be shocked to see that 2/3 of their earnings are paid to taxes and fees. Taxes are to be paid by the poor. There are so many loopholes for the elites that their effective tax rates are often near zero. Wow. America should move to a flat tax system without any deductions. That will capture the elite income. Make the first 50K tax free for everyone. Yeah, that makes sense. Homeless Ranger. Middle class in Europe means living in the old 2-bedroom apartment and riding a used bike to work. Owning a home and car puts you in the elite class of Europeans. Wow. Wow, he said elite class. High tax countries are destroying themselves and their futures, hence the need to import hordes of migrants. Abundant supply of cheap slave labor. The elites want working class people to turn against each other in the midst of abundant crime and chaos, which they orchestrate the entire event will save us from the clamping down on freedoms. Wow. No need for U.S. to bail out people who resent us. The income tax fosters social cohesion. That has to be the stupidest thing Tyler has ever said. Wow. Social cohesion. Alright, that's it. Alright, that's what it is. Holla, like, comment, subscribe. America has single payer health care. America fucking people. Totally misleading since healthcare insurance costs are not included for the US. Interesting. So that's what it is, man. Holla. Maybe we could do a part 2. Holla.